Hello,
Hi, I'm Jennifer
and I'm Vivian, and it's episode 5.
of WeAreTwoSheep. We have a blog, wearetwosheep.blogspot.com, and we will put any show notes regarding what we discuss here over on the blog. The address is also going to be down below in the text box below the video.
Yeah. So today we thought we'd discuss the process, everything really that happens leading up to casting on whatever your project's going to be.
Yeah.
And everyone has a different one.
Well, everyone has a process.
A
They
process.
might all be different,
That's
right?
true.
Yeah. Everyone has a process.
A process, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we thought we'd talk about our processes.
Yeah.
What we do before we cast on.
Yes. What leads us to that point.
Yeah, so I guess the two things that could start is pattern or yarn. Which you start with? Do you start with the pattern or do you start with the yarn? And I definitely start with the pattern first.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Ravelry a lot. Even when I'm not looking for a pattern, I look at Ravelry. Tongue twister.
Yeah.
And I just look on the site and,
Before you have yarn.
Yeah, definitely. And I invariably always find patterns that I like. And so I favorite them for later. I don't feel like I need to run out and get the yarn for them, but I like to have them stored away.
You're sort of window shopping.
Yeah, I kind of tuck them away for later.
Yeah.
And
you're good. You don't commit or purchase until you really are ready.
Yeah, no.
I definitely have like a file of patterns that I've not knit.
Yeah.
And might not remember.
Oh, that you bought. Yeah, no, I favorite them, but I don't buy them.
Right, but I can print them out. And
yeah.
It's like I look them over. And, yeah.
But so I have a bunch stored away in my favorites on Ravelry.
Yeah. And
then they just sit there, and I look at them, and I'm like, "Oh, I want to knit that one soon," and I bump them. Sometimes the order gets changed.
What do you wait for?
Till we go to a yarn shop or a yarn festival.
Okay.
And then once I'm there, then I look on Ravelry and I say, okay, that one. So what yarn does that call for? And then I go, oh, okay. If this calls for the DK, I go over there. I don't look at lace if it's a DK.
Right.
So I go to what the kind of weight the pattern calls for, and then I just look at the yarn that I think would go well with the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely the pattern first. I don't buy yarn and then say, what will I do with this?
Right.
Sometimes I'll pick up the yarn and be like, could I do one of my projects with this? So I go and check quickly and go oh no, it's the wrong weight. Oh, darn. Okay. And then I put it back, But it's always the pattern first.
Always the pattern first.
And for you,
it's almost 99.99% of the time it's the yarn first. And it's yarn without any pattern, even though, as I mentioned, I print out patterns and I have patterns. I don't remember them like you do. I don't have them and kind of scroll through them in my head mentally. It's like I've never seen a pattern in my life, and I'll just respond on the shelf. I love that. I want it for mittens, maybe. I have no pattern for mittens, which can be very frustrating when you don't find the pattern that goes with the yarn you've bought. But more and more now, I just go with, I definitely want that yarn for socks. I definitely want that for a sweater. I have to think about what that will be. And that's just how I do it. I don't think I can. I've tried it the other way. It doesn't work.
Right. It works. This is what works for you.
Yeah. Just loving the yarn. It is a trick getting enough of it. For like the sweater I'm working on, I only bought one skein, and then I realized that skein wanted to be a sweater, and then you got to get more.
Yeah, you test the yarn.
Yeah. So you wait for yarn events or the store,
the yarn crawl, something. If I find I don't just go to the yarn store, but if we're in there, then I'm like, okay. Or for traveling, so we go to the local yarn store, and then
I'm trying to think. Do I go in just to cruise? I don't think I do.
No, sometimes if you're like, I need one more skein because this needs to be 3 colors instead of 2, then you go down there.
And then when you're there and you accidentally see something else, you buy.
But I don't go shop. I guess the strange thing is it starts with the pattern, but I don't go running down to the store with the pattern. I don't.
No.
I kind of wait. And then I find myself in a yarn store.
Yeah, you're not impulsive or in any rush.
Just kind of sits there.
Yeah. I also just get yarn needs of so you look for patterns, I look for yarn so that I can find a project.
Right. That's true because I'm constantly looking for patterns.
Yeah, you absolutely stay on to see what's popping up or what might get your attention. I recently bought online, which I have mixed feelings about. On the one hand, like color depiction's never totally accurate. It really helps to be familiar with the brand already so you know their quality. So I do that. I less often take a total blind gamble.
Yeah.
But that being said, the smaller producers, it's hard to find some of them in your local yarn store, and it's hard to wait all year for the yarn event that might come to your area, and they don't come to every town.
Right.
So I did buy recently online. What I was surprised about was how long it was to get the yarn, because they were, custom dyeing it based on the order. So the whole thing was not immediate gratification, despite my ordering it impulsively late at night in the, I want that right now. It's not that the yarn store is open 24 hours by having the internet. You have to definitely wait.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it. I think it's great to support those small businesses.
Yeah.
Always order enough for your project so that the dye lot will match. So I did. I got 2 sweaters worth, and we'll see how that goes. And it was fun when it finally came.
Yeah.
That was like, gift yarn in the mail.
Yeah. Surprise! You kind of forgotten about it by the time it came.
Yeah, it was a little bit like that moment's past. But now I'm excited again because I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. And so I kind of said that I only buy yarn when I find myself in a yarn store. But my patterns are all from Ravelry, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we get magazines and we've got knitting books, and the next 2 patterns I want to knit are from knitting books.
Mm-hmm.
But most of my inspiration is on Ravelry. I don't flip through books going, what can I knit next? I go to Ravelry.
I think the magazines they have great articles, they have interviews.
Oh, they do.
They highlight makers.
Yeah.
From both sides, either designers or the spinners and fiber farmers. I think it's all inspiring. It all kind of goes in.
Definitely.
It goes in somewhere.
Yeah.
Even if you're not applying whatever you read right away, I think it all goes in somewhere and adds to your knowledge base, basically.
Yeah, I love the articles. I always read those.
Your references. Yeah. So we do get inspired. I mean, you get inspired by color. I'm constantly taking photos when we're out of things. I just love the colors of them, even if it's, gum on the sidewalk. Wherever I go, I've been lately doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see if I do apply that to a pattern. So that would be an interesting process if I start with my photograph, then go to the yarn store. But I still get distracted when I'm there because you don't know what you'll find.
Yeah, and the colors all kind of interact on the shelf, don't they, a little bit?
Yeah, and something will catch your eye that you didn't go in there intending to look at. And I stay open to that. I love it all.
Yeah. No, it's true. I usually kind of take a skein and I'm like, does that go with that skein or this skein? It's not like, well, I love blue and purple together, so I'm getting blue and purple.
Right, no.
I kind of,
although
what's there?
Supposedly we all do gravitate towards our favorite colors, even if we think we're not. That's what they say.
Right, but no, I don't really go in there saying, okay, I'm going to buy brown yarn now. I'm pretty open.
Right.
I don't really have a plan. And I don't often knit from the yarn that's recommended for the pattern. I do the weight, but I don't do the specific yarn that the pattern was knit up in.
Yeah.
And so that leads out.
Have you ever picked the same yarn that someone on Ravelry knit their project? Like if you're looking at the project and then you look at all the other people and they tell you the yarn they used.
No. Well, maybe by coincidence.
Okay.
But I've never been going to knit with that yarn.
I love the site you told me about that can recommend substitutes.
Yeah. Oh, forgot about that yarn.
Okay, we'll put that in the show notes.
It's a good site. Yeah.
That is brilliant.
And it tells you, like, okay, so the fiber content's going to be different, but the price is the same. And the yardage is the same.
Yeah.
I think it has yardage, price, gauge, materials.
Yeah, and you can search under that too. I don't know, but they really line it up, so they say this is a good alternative.
Yeah, we'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah, that was a very good resource.
Yeah, yeah, but I never actually look for brands like that often. I just go by weight. That's my one rule. The sweater was knit in Aran or worsted or DK or whatever it is, then that's what I'm going to look at.
Mm-hmm. You could combine yarns to achieve gauge.
That's true.
We haven't tried that.
I haven't done that yet. No, I think that works for like plain patterns, not plain, but a plain canvas. Because if there's like cables going on, I don't know how double strand.
I think it doesn't affect anything.
No, it's true, and also there's marling, right, with 2 different colors, but also we've seen people doing now like the same color, it's just different weights and different textures, and that's also interesting. It gives a bit of a tweedy look.
We haven't done it. I would do it.
The only time I did it for a hat, it was the same color yarn. It was just I needed to get the thickness.
Yeah, so you did double strand.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I needed to. It came out pretty thick.
Yeah.
But that's true. I don't typically do that, but
it can be a very interesting way to achieve either the gauge you need or if you wanted to change the texture a little bit. A lot of people like to add.
Yeah. No,
not two of the same, mind you, but like, I hate to mention it because I'm allergic to mohair, but people will use mohair.
Yeah.
Right, because it's a very thin one, so it just bumps you a little bit.
It makes it also soft.
Right, so it can change.
But yeah, you sneeze and
terrible reaction to it. It's too bad. So no double stranding with mohair for me.
No.
Or you if you're sitting next to me.
Yeah, so I typically avoid mohair.
Yeah.
Because of you. Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, I guess I have my pattern base. But if I do really love a yarn and it doesn't work for the pattern I was envisioning, I do look through my favorites. Okay, but what could work with this if I really love it and I can't put it down?
You try to matchmake.
Yeah. So I guess I kind of let both lead in that way.
Yeah.
That I don't go to the yarn store saying, okay, I'm buying yarn for this one today, and that's it. I do, I'm like, oh, this is really pretty. Well, I'm going to get yarn for that lace shawl then,
Right. Yeah, it might bump up a project.
It might, yeah, definitely.
So I would then, applying like what we're talking about to my current project.
Yeah.
I am knitting a bottom-up sweater. I did that mistake of buying just one skein and getting home and realizing I need the rest of it because it's going to be a sweater. So that yarn told me like, no, I got to be a sweater. Once I started holding it and everything, I thought this is going to make a cool sweater. So I ordered more. That came, and I've been, because I start with the yarn and I cannot always find the project that I'm going to love backwards that way.
Yeah.
It does feel backwards when you start with because Ravelry lets you do a search based on your yarn, your needles, anything. It's brilliant, but I typically still don't find the thing that I think I'm looking for. I don't even know what I'm looking for, which is exactly what makes it so hard to find it, because I don't know. And
you're knitting on that sweater now.
I'm knitting the sweater now, so it's a bottom-up sweater, which is great because I'm taking my time deciding even what I'm going to do once I get through with the body. I feel like I've got a bit more body to knit on it, but I've been keeping, for the past couple weeks, a journal. I've been keeping a writing journal based on my knitting thoughts, just verbal. And then I've kept, a notebook by the bed. The bed is when, like, before I fall asleep, you're just the quietest, and so
you're not knitting,
and I'm not knitting usually, in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
So the thoughts can kind of come. I find the same thing in the shower. I don't know if other people have that experience, but the bathroom, the shower, you're all relaxed, and suddenly I get an idea. Sometimes I think, "Bring me paper," which is really inconvenient. But I have been writing down any design idea or shape or thought that comes to me, and capturing them, whether I just don't even question it. If I'm getting an idea, I write it down. And so I'm going to use that for this sweater. It has been morphing a lot. When I first started, I had said maybe it'll be color work, because I think the yarn would be beautiful with color work. But
also you were following a pattern. You cast on stitches based on a pattern.
It didn't have
But that never happened. No, but I mean, you cast on with a pattern.
Yes.
And now it's off the pattern,
Yes, but then once I left that pattern and I started to think, what will it be? And so I started to think color work.
Yeah.
And then I started to think, no, not color work, a collar. And I was jotting down shape for that. And then I thought, no, I have another neck idea. So I'm interested to see where it goes. And I'm trying to keep track of it. But it is very interesting. When I'm done, I will show maybe, here's where I thought I was going to go. And I let it go to here and it worked out or did not. I don't know. It's really... hats off to designers. I'm not I realized I need to. I thought I wasn't going to have to figure out the math and pre-plan the reductions and how I was going to shape, but you can't just wing that. You can't
No.
Let's see how I feel. The decreases have to really be structured.
Especially you're going for a more fitted sweater, like you're not doing a big boxy square.
The body kind of is. It's just
the body, of course.
Right, it's not the drop shoulder.
Yeah, no, it's not a drop shoulder.
No.
Yeah.
So yes, I am trying to figure that out, and I'm learning all the different shoulders too. So I knew raglan. We should have a quiz of do you know these? Yeah. I knew raglan. I knew inset.
Drop shoulder.
Drop shoulder, but I knew inset where you sew it in.
With the sleeve caps.
It can be different ways, actually.
It can be.
Yeah, because you can do it. You can do it like sewing, where you just have the shape. Knitting stretches, so you don't have to do the short rows. Yeah. But it achieves the same look. Although that can be picked up and knit as opposed to separately and put in. Then there is
yoke.
Gurney. Oh yeah, yoke, which is seamless. Gurney, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. But saddle, which is very, very similar, which has this drop down. I'm not even sure where the drops happen, but there's this decrease, and it's a very straight line here. Which was interesting. It allows you to go straight. It gets
kind of not a shoulder pad, but there's this section on the top.
Yeah, not a shoulder pad, but it allows you to go straight off the neck and down, which some designers use to put in a lace or some continuous knit pattern down the side.
Right.
Because this little channel here is preserved and not decreased and messed with at all. That was fascinating. They all have totally... Oh, dolman? Where it's this very extreme raglan. Almost has a bat wing effect.
Oh, a wide sleeve. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. There are a certain number of choices. You could invent new ones. You could call it the Jennifer sleeve. I'm not ready to do that. I'm just trying to pick the one that will suit what I want to do. But that will require sitting down and charting out. I'm a little intimidated. I'm a lot intimidated, but I am trying to stick with the ideas that are coming, which...
Yeah, and you're working... You put down the sweater for a little while, and now you picked it back up.
I did, because I was I'm going to finish the body and not have a decision yet. And then I realized, there's a lot of body to go, so you can keep going. There's no rush.
Right, and, this is your first sweater, obviously, that you're kind of doing the decreasing and increasing about. But you've been following patterns pretty consistently, so you're branching out now.
Yeah, I feel like I've been collecting information and knowledge that I ought to be able to tap into.
And now you're taking a next step.
And it might be kind of messy because it's the first next step. That's okay. You got to start somewhere. You do.
Yeah.
I guess I would feel better if someone was probably holding my hand who'd done it to help me walk through that. I would not mind that. Any volunteers? That would help, because I think that's why I put it down. Am I really going to do this? So I'm kind of building up my confidence, you can do it, come on. And just reminding myself what I would say to you, which is it's okay, mistakes are how we learn and all that. That's
right, we talked about fail.
The fail. It's easy to say, it's a little hard to experiment with, but I think it'll be very interesting. I will report back. On how I feel about that. And what are you working on?
So I'm working on my Carbeth, which I've shown in previous episodes.
And you started with the pattern. You knew it. You said, that's the pattern I want.
And I had the pattern in January, and I got the yarn in January at Vogue Knitting Live. And it's been sitting there on my shelf since January. And
a few other projects got in the way. You've been knitting.
Yes, I've been wanting to knit it, but I knew I should really wait. I had another sweater on the needles, and it was my first sweater, so I didn't want two sweaters on the needles. So the reason I hadn't picked it up sooner was really I was trying to be smart. It wasn't reflecting my disinterest in the pattern. I really wanted to work on it, but I just knew I should wait, so I did. So I cast on in late July, August, and I did the sleeves first. I thought, I'll get them out of the way.
That is so amazing, by the way. Oh, so recommended to anyone just by watching and envying.
Yeah.
As I knit my body first. I'm going to do short sleeves. As I watch you, just thinking, she's so smart. She's got it done. She can enjoy.
Everyone talks about Sleeve Island, and I thought, I'm going to do the sleeves first.
Skip that.
Yeah, because I could. Well, actually, there's a funny reason why I did the sleeves. It was because you were using the needles that I needed, and we weren't near a yarn shop. So we were on vacation. So you were using the ones I needed, so I had small 8s, not big ones though, but small ones.
Oh, the circular was smaller.
Yeah, the circular. We didn't have a long enough circular. So I said, okay, but I really want to start, so I did the sleeves first.
So you're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's why, yeah. I was like, I was so great. No, it was that I didn't have the right tool. Because we're on a trip. Yeah.
But brilliant.
Yeah. So I did the sleeves first. I did both of them. And then I cast on the body last week. And I just went at it. And I did one skein in 1 week. And since I'm kind of a slow knitter, I work on it, but I'm slow.
Yeah.
I've seen other people and they just go,
Can I just add, when you said you just went at it, she's knitting all, like, while we're walking. Which people will definitely stare when you knit when you walk.
Yeah, no, so I've just been knitting it all of the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. It's just knitting. I don't know why I feel so, about this. But it's really exciting.
Oh, you mean because
I don't know why. It's
on,
nothing really. It's just, sucking at.
You're anticipating because you're lucky enough to have a pattern and you know what you're going to get.
Right.
So you're like waiting for that to materialize.
Yeah. So I've been knitting, and I've only got like 2 inches left before the sleeves join and I've got the yoke.
Gonna talk about.
Yeah, but so I did one skein 1 week and I was like, wow. And then I took out my next skein and I knew what was going to happen. Yeah. I had been anticipating this because, these are the sleeves.
Aww,
really nice. Nice sleeves. And this is the body. And they don't match. They don't. And, yeah, here, there we go. The eye isn't, the camera's not being deceiving.
You can tell by showing the top stripe, which does match. There you go. There's the sleeve.
And so I ran out of one skein and was ready to switch to the next one, and it's a stripe. And I knew that was going to happen, and I was thinking, oh, should I have done that stripe thing, every other row so that it wasn't obvious? I think it would have looked like a stripy sweater, or if not, it would be very variegated, and I don't want that. Mm-hmm. And this is really, I lined it up so that it's a fine place for this to happen. I wouldn't want mismatched sleeves or I don't know. I would like the dark to be at the top. I'm glad the dark's at the bottom.
But also to speak to the point that you do knit like all the time and while you're walking and on the subway, if you were juggling 2 skeins and alternating,
it's true. That would go a lot slower.
That would not be quite as automatic.
Yeah. No, it's true. But so I don't actually regret anything, and we were thinking maybe we'll wash this and not wash the top half and see if this kind of fades.
Or just soak it and see if it,
Well, because I think if we soak the whole thing, it'll fade evenly. But if we just dip the bottom.
Yeah.
But I'm not too bothered. It's a pretty good place for the line to happen, honestly.
Because we think your top and your sleeves will match.
It should.
So they will join
seamlessly.
Oh,
and so I'm pretty happy with it. I've only got a couple more inches. I've made it a little longer than the pattern called for, but that's because I'm taller. I'm not sure. It'll be a little less cropped. It probably will be. But so this is the Carbeth sweater, and I'm just so happy with how this is going.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for the next steps. But so for this process, I saw the pattern online on Ravelry, and I was really excited. I wanted to knit it. It was my next sweater, and since I was still kind of intimidated when I saw it was the beginning of January, I just cast on at the end of December. I cast on my first sweater. So I was still kind of going at the beginning stages and wasn't.
But you must have felt pretty strong to be buying your second sweater.
I guess, right?
Yeah.
But so I wasn't. I was hoping I'd finish my first sweater, but I guess I wasn't 100% sure.
Huh.
So I thought, well, this is simple. It's all stockinette. There's not I did a lace yoke for my first sweater. This wouldn't be as complicated, and it would be bottom up. And the other one had been top down. So I was interested to see which I liked, and I think they're both good now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think they are all good.
Yeah, I like with socks. I feel pretty strongly.
Yeah.
Even though I've only knit
of a
pair
preference,
socks.
you mean?
Yeah. That I like cuff down.
Really? Well, you might.
I think I would. I think I do because I don't know this whole. You've got to deal with the toe when you start with the toe.
Yeah, I've tried both.
Yeah.
I never finished a toe up.
No.
I really do love starting. I think it's nice to start into a project very easy. Ooh, maybe I'll always like bottom up sweaters for that reason. Because you do start
Yeah, but on the other hand, you kind of get the hard work over with. Like a yoke can be complicated, especially if you've got color work and.
Well, I like a project that decreases.
Yeah, that is nice.
So, like,
though technically it does increase for a second when you got the sleeves.
Yeah, the sleeves, but pretty rapidly it starts to go down. So,
you feel pretty close to the end. Whereas when you start at the yoke, it's like got the whole yoke.
I also have a slight history of making some of my sweaters too short because I think I'm just done and fed up.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. I might be learning something about myself there. So, I mean, we'll see. It's too soon to say, but maybe the bottom up solves a lot of that.
Yeah, maybe.
Huh.
But so I'm not finding a preference, especially because I want to dip into color work, and once I get a little bit better at color work, there's a lot of pretty color work yokes out there, and those are top down.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with both, I think. But I'm just so happy with how fast and how quick this has been going, though I have been working on it all the time.
Diligently,
yeah.
That's fantastic. They always say you've got to touch your project once a day, just do something.
Yeah. But so my process was pretty much as I described earlier at the beginning of this podcast. I saw the pattern first, and we went to Vogue Knitting Live, and I was excited. I was hoping I'd be able to find yarn for the pattern.
Always.
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you want to find yarn for your new favorite pattern? But I wasn't dedicated to it. If we didn't find it, okay.
Yeah.
And then we saw this, and I got it.
Yeah.
And then it's been sitting on the shelf because I didn't want to touch it until I had everything else out of the way.
Yeah.
And now it's come,
So are you going to go to Rhinebeck with a few patterns in your head? Because we were saying during the yarn call, we kept saying, we shouldn't buy too much right now because we're going to Rhinebeck. So there was the expectation of buying yarn there.
Yeah.
Almost, I don't want to say regardless of what you've got planned, but like.
I know.
You almost feel like even as a souvenir, when you go to an event, like, come on, I'm here.
I know, because
I'm a bad influence. I'm definitely the, like,
buy it. It'll be really, I don't know, our first Rhinebeck, it'll be so overwhelming. I would think. I don't know what everyone says about it. It's like,
wow. Yes, it might, there might be no yarn left.
No,
And there might be no time to buy, no strength to buy if we're exhausted or distracted, but I'm very curious to see what happens there. I don't. For me, because I do like to knit socks, there's always the if you're not sure, you can still buy it to make socks with it.
Right. Well, for me, that's the hat. My equivalent is the hat.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
I'm a hat knitter. You're a sock knitter.
It's kind of good to have that, no matter what.
Yeah.
I could definitely justify.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I got a couple projects lined up with yarn. I've got yarn for a couple projects, but I don't know when I'll do them. But I'm not. You cast on a lot.
I do.
And then everything waits. And then you do finish it.
Well, the neat thing, I'll tell you the secret about being someone who does loads of whips, is that all of a sudden you are finishing, bam, bam, bam. Look, I did this cardigan, and it looks like you did it all in a month, but of course it took months to get to that, to get everything slowly to that stage, and then you're like, oh my God, it's a finished knit project party.
Right. And then months without a finished
knit because I've definitely had friends comment like, you're done with that?
Yeah, sweater, vest, hat, socks, it's all coming
you don't
off.
know when I started, because I see you suddenly with like 2 more rows to go, and it looks like incredible. No, it takes me a long time, but I do cast on. I cast on yesterday, a different project that just helps me think about, again, with this sweater, because I'm making all the decisions, and it's intimidating. I don't want to just stop knitting like as a punishment till I can solve it, although that might be a better way to go about it. Like, not until you finish your vegetables. So I cast on the other project, a small thing, a small one, not a competitor, just like a supplement, to think about this project and give me a little peaceful time. It's peaceful knitting as opposed to project knitting.
Yeah, and I
do cast
I have 2 projects usually, the small portable and the bigger one. This counts as a bigger one, but I don't know.
You are carrying
But when I've got 3, I start to get a little bit nervous, but if I really want to, then I cast on, okay, I don't usually have 4.
No, I don't think you've ever had 3.
I had
not
3 recently. I thought I had 3. I don't
can't think of it.
I had my sweater and I had my shawl.
Yeah.
And I feel like there might have been something else, but maybe not. Mm-hmm. But I usually do have 2. I usually do.
Yeah.
A small something and a bigger something.
And I have like 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the small something. Not only is it more portable, it gets finished quicker, so I feel rewarded while I'm still working on the bigger one.
Unless it's a double, because that finish is very hard. Fake temporary satisfaction.
Yeah, the double's hard. But yeah, but my process was pretty typical me for this one, I think. Yeah.
Well, as is mine, typical me of the, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and then you cast on right away. Because you cast on before you got the rest of the yarn. You
were knitting with just I'm like, skein. It's going to be a sweater. And, so I do need to write down my ideas, and so that's part of that process. I don't have the pattern, so I don't have the checking row by row, and I messed up, I have to go back. I'm just going... although if I do start to write down guidelines for myself, I guess I will suddenly have created that.
Yeah.
Created that. Oop, I'm supposed to be decreasing here. I was toying around with kind of creating a lace pattern last night, and definitely I found myself, oh, you forgot to purl, and going back. I did. You do have to read the stitch no matter what. Whether you're reading the pattern or you're reading your own thing, going, now, see, there was supposed to be yarn over there. I've got to go back.
Yeah.
There's always something on the outside that kind of guides the project.
Definitely. Yeah, it's like crochet. It seems like you can totally go freeform and just
seems that way, but we might be saying that because we don't really crochet.
I guess.
Oh, no, but right, you have made stuff and it's just, you just decided how to do it.
Like, obviously, if you're crocheting a sweater, okay, you've got to follow,
Yeah.
But you can just, you can't with knitting.
You've made little pouches and that, you just decide where it goes. That's true.
Right.
It depends on the project. I think you could do that with knitting too. If you wanted to knit.
I guess.
Something that elemental. You could knit a square.
But I wouldn't be able to end up with a pouch by just kind of going with it. Like, I was totally making horrible mistakes throughout the crochet, but it turned out great.
Yeah, you didn't really see it so much. Yeah, knitting is pretty, I don't want to say it's unforgiving.
You need to know the craft.
Yeah, well, but I was going to say that the finished result is does show when your stitches are uneven or if there's a hole. That doesn't get blended in so well.
No, time kind of blends it in a little bit if you...
Oh! So you kind of fudgel it in,
Well, and weaving in, you can always...
You can go back and...
There's a lot of... People don't really focus on it, but there's a lot of repair you can do to knitting. Lots of... Once it's finished, how can you fix it?
Yeah. And blocking changes a lot, and washing can change a lot. But you can patch back. I don't know. I'm aspiring, of course. I think most knitters do to not make mistakes with my sweater.
Of course, yeah. But it's helpful to have those, the resources at the end.
And there's something to be said for the attitude of, it's okay, it doesn't matter, go on, so that happened.
Right.
Which I feel like is a little bit easier with, like, a shawl or something that's got tons of stuff. A sweater is just really...
It's a piece of clothing.
Yeah, but it's also really reveals how you did. I feel like it's a bit of a harsh critic of you.
I don't know. I'm totally converted.
See, I'm intimidating myself again right now. I'm like, oh, what do I do?
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I'm completely converted to sweater knitting now. Because it was my first...
It only took 1.5
I know, only 1.5 sweaters, but I love it because I was really kind of intimidated by it.
Yes.
And all of it really, like, you're buying so much yarn, where are you going to knit with it, all of it, but...
It happens.
I love it now, yeah.
And then you can wear it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So I guess that's part of my process right now. I'm looking at sweaters also, because I used to like sweaters and I'd favorite them, but kind of like, well, I'll knit that in, 10 years. But this is now, so I guess that has, now that I'm a sweater knitter, my process has changed slightly in that I look at more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's process for you.
Yeah.
It changes.
Process changes.
You have your process, but...
Yeah, well, especially now that you're breaking out, you're not only following patterns, you're also following your own patterns.
Oh, me, yeah.
Right, so your process changes, definitely, but yeah.
Except for that my process was to start with the yarn, so in a way, I've just started to accept that that's what I do want to do, and so I don't need to wait for finding the pattern when I fall in love with the yarn. I will try to make one. I don't know how it'll go, but
we'll keep you updated.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye. Thank you for watching.
Bye.